All right, once you've made a slip knot, next we can make a foundation chain. And the foundation chain is the bottom edge of the blanket. So we'll build the foundation chain and then up, build up from there to create the blanket. So this foundation chain is the bottom edge. We're going to make it going from left to right. So we want our working yarn and the ball on the right, and the tail is on the left. And here's the slip knot. It will be the first loop in our chain. Go ahead and put the slip knot on top of the working yarn. We're going to reach in to pinch the working yarn and pull up a new loop. And then we can measure it. For blankets, usually somewhere around 3 to 3.5 fingers is about the size that you need these loops to be. They're going to be a lot bigger than the loops that the rest of the blanket will be. This chain needs to be nice and loose or it's going to distort the shape of your blanket. If the bottom edge is tight, then the rest of the blanket will flare out. So to keep it straight, the bottom chain needs to be loose. So these loops should be 3 to 3.5 fingers. So let's lay that down, pinch again, pull up a new loop, measure it about 3 fingers, lay it flat. Some more yarn here. So some tricks when we're doing this, I use my left hand to kind of anchor and hold the chain in place on the table. It's best to do this on a flat surface when you're learning. So anchor the chain, then use my right hand to hold this loop down, and then my pointer and my thumb reach in to pinch the working yarn. And make sure when you're pulling this up, this new loop up, you're pulling in a way that pulls the working yarn to create the length in the loop. You're not pulling in a way that tightens the previous loop. So that's why I'm kind of anchoring with this left hand to hold this chain in place so that when I pull, I'm not distorting the previous loops. I'm just pulling to make this loop bigger by pulling on the working yarn. Okay, and then we lay it flat, pinch, pull up, measure, lay it flat, pinch, so anchor on both sides. So anchor with the left, anchor with the right, pinch with your finger and your thumb, pull it up, measure it, and lay it flat. Now there are 2 ways to lay it flat. So it comes up this way. You can twist clockwise and lay it down. That's the more typical, what you'll see more often. That's what I do. I turn it like a quarter turn clockwise to go from up to down. Some people do go this way. As long as you're consistent, it'll still work. So just make sure you pick your direction and stick to it. So pinch, pull up, lay it flat, pinch, pull up, lay it flat. And you'll kind of get a rhythm and get a feel for how big these need to be. And then for counting, so you know how many you've done. So we count the top edges. So this was the slip knot back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus this last loop makes 10. So that would be a foundation chain of 10. And so you can kind of look at it more closely. So you can see there's sometimes when these V's kind of split open, it looks like there's kind of this vertical bar in there. That's when these are loose. But actually, when you make the blanket, it's going to get stretched this way. So it should create more of like a braided look. So if it starts to look funny, give it a stretch and see if you start to get this nice, pretty braid. That's the front side. And then if you flip it over, here's the back side. You'll see there's these middle bumps. Some people call this the dragon back. So these bumps are kind of horizontal. And this is the front. So if you end up seeing bumps in the front, it's probably that you're seeing more vertical bumps. The horizontal ones are on the back. That's the dragon back. Here's the front. And these look kind of vertical. These are actually not what we want. Well, there's a next step when we get to the first row. We don't want to be seeing these so much. So pull it tight and those will disappear. And the back here. All right, so that's your foundation chain. Follow your pattern to see how many chains you need. And then after that, you start the first row working into the chain.